Bright morning.
Bright future.
Bright morning.
Bright future.
Excellent. Tell me, if I asked your best friend to describe you, what would she say? Or he? If I asked your best friend to describe you in 3 words, what would they say? Okay, turn it the other way around. How do you describe yourself in 3 words? And the way you describe yourself, does it sound the same way your friend is describing you? Just think about it 1 second. Your friend has talked to me about you. I asked, that lady, who is she? What does she do? Can I remember her? Then your friend has described you. Then you have come around. You are telling me who you are. Is it the same person that your best friend described? Yes, no. Yes, no. There are so many no's. Why are there no's? How come your best friend does not know you the way you know yourself? Or doesn't have the image of you that you have of yourself? She says it's not a best friend. What else? Different types of friends. What else? Age. Somebody said age. Yes? What else? Age. Envy. Allah. We are talking about your best friend, not your enemy. Yes? Different thinking. Why is your friend having a different thinking of who you are? And you spend a lot of time with this friend of yours, isn't it? So if you think about that, I want you to think about you as a brand. I know Rosaline has mentioned it a bit, but I'll go a little deeper because she is not going to rise without a brand. She is not going to rise without a brand. Not in 2025, not in the next coming years. And unlike what most people think a brand is not an influential person. A brand is just you. You and your uniqueness and the uniqueness that you want to come across when people meet you, when people talk to you, when people find your content on social media, when people speak about you in your absence. That is your brand. And everybody has a brand. Everybody, whether by design or by default. So if you're doing nothing about it, it's by default. So you have that brand that is obscure or not there, but it is still a brand. If you're doing something about it, consciously, you're designing your brand. But I also want to ask you something else. Think about BF Suma. We have been, or we could be over 100,000. We are selling the same products, isn't it? How do you stand out? How do you stand out? Because unless you can stand out, you will find yourself stealing somebody else's customer, quote unquote. You will find yourself trying to convince somebody who is already in the shop, whatever shop, that you will give them a better price. You know why you're doing that? Because you have no brand, or you are not consciously building your own brand. You constantly feel like you're competing with the other distributor. Let that sink. And yet, because we are very, very different, gifted, all of us in different ways, having gone through different experiences, skills, whatever it is, everybody has a brand. The story you want to tell the world is your uniqueness. And the beauty with branding is that nobody can become you. Thank you. Thank you. Nobody can become you. We could be 50 certified life and wellness coaches here because that's who I am. And we are completely different. We could be 100 housewives here and we are completely different because our experiences, our skills, whether got in school or outside school, are completely different. And not just that, what we want to project to the world is different. We have been talking about women all this morning, isn't it? And I'm sure there's a part of those women that we've been talking about, or that woman that has touched you more than another. You need to ask yourself, maybe that is the area you're being called to. That is the area you need to concentrate on. Maybe you have been through such an experience and you want to project to the world how you handled that experience, how you got yourself out, or even how you're handling it. Most people think you brand yourself once you have succeeded. No. You brand yourself as you are because a brand is a story. It is a journey. So I want to ask you, imagine we are 100,000. Each one of us has got Femibiotics, Feminergy, Femicare, Femicalcium, Udeva. How are we going to serve? No wonder many people are saying, nimeongea na watu lakini kila mtu anajua. Wale watu wote najua wanatumia ama washaambiwa. It is not possible, isn't it? Every single day, I'm sure somebody finds somebody who's never heard about BF Suma, isn't it? Yes. But maybe the way we are coming across is not separated. We are coming across as distributors. That is the first place. Yes, that's the first thing. But honestly speaking, in your brand, that is the least of things that is going to cause somebody else to want to buy from you. That you're a distributor, isn't it? Think about it. If all of them, 5 of them, distributor, 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 and I'm looking for Youth Ever or something to make my skin firm or something to, to brighten my skin, to make me feel confident, did that word distributor speak to my heart in any way? No. It doesn't. I don't even care what you distribute, really. Think about it. Until one of them says, my name is Jane, and I love helping women to look younger for longer. Something like that. And I'm like, what did you say? What do you use? Or what can I use? Because it is speaking to a need that I have. You don't have to say it like that. It could even just be a story you're giving me. I used to be tired. I used to work in this place and I would be very, very tired. And every time I'd go home, my children would ask me, Mami Kwani, what are you doing? You're looking so old. And then I came across this product that really, really rejuvenated me and helped me feel energetic and young. And now I use that product every day. If I say that, I am not speaking to the so many of us here. I'm speaking to 2 or 3 people that can resonate with fatigue, with young children, with looking old and rugged and all that. Isn't it? But unfortunately, we keep thinking that we need to speak to everyone. And we need to speak the same language to everyone. No. And that is why we kind of feel like we're in competition. If you find your space, if you find the space of your comfort, you will be in competition with no one. I'll give you an example. There's a lady in my team. She's retired. She's a maths teacher. And one of our team members told her that, you know what, you could actually go on TikTok. And I know the younger people think the older people are not in TikTok. Thank you so much. They are. And I said to her, one of the ways you can stand out is by talking about maths. Can I talk about maths? No, never. Unless I say how I failed. So I cannot be her. So when she talks about maths, who is she attracting? A parent who has a child who is struggling in maths, isn't it? And in between, she talks about cerebrain. But she was talking about maths. When she talks about maths, nobody else will ever come out the way she comes out. And I can tell you, as we speak, she's at 1,300 ppv. And thank you so much. She got so comfortable because she was struggling, and I was wondering, how do I help this distributor to feel comfortable? Because we get uncomfortable trying to become the other person. Did you know that? The best place you can be is in your skin. The comfort you find in your own experiences. Sometimes you may struggle because maybe they are very personal. It doesn't matter. You share to the extent that you're able, to the extent that you've healed, to the extent that you want somebody else to know, isn't it? Once you get to that place, you become so confident in that journey, and you do not expect to speak to everyone. You speak to that person who will identify with that story. Sometimes we think, unless we can speak about every single product, we will not sell. You could only be speaking about Feminagy, and then you sell Prostate Relax. Why? Because this lady you're speaking to about Feminagy could also be having a partner who needs Prostate Relax. But the story that you give around Feminagy wins her over to be confident enough to say, I want something for my partner. So even as we are talking about branding, personal branding, it is not something out there. It is not something for celebrities. It is not something for influencers. It is for us who are associated with this even bigger brand and who want to scale. Rosaline has talked about financial wellness, and all of us, I'm sure we are here because we also want it, isn't it? We want the health, we want the money, we want the travel, and like she said, you don't look beautiful when you're broke. Honestly, it is true, imagine. Because you're so stressed and you're so unconfident. You go to the restaurant or to a hotel and you really want to see the menu before you order. Because unajua kuna kashida kengine. Si ndio? You're not even, the waiter is wondering, why are you looking so uncomfortable and food hasn't even come? Kumbe, you're wondering, nikioda hiyo, pesa yangu itafit. So let us think about branding as something that we can own in whatever circumstances that we are in, so that we can stand out. How do you stand out in a crowded room? By being unique. You stand out in your own journey. Think about maybe a product you've used, the story that brought you to be a Suma, the people that you first met, whatever it is. Something around that story can be weaved into a brand. Where you're coming from, your family life, maybe your past, and you can go on and on and on and on around that story, and every day you will find someone interested in your story. And as they hear your story, you will give them a solution like the one you got. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo? So we don't have to be anybody else. Right? Right? Ni kama hatujakubaliana hapa katikati. We don't have to think that so-and-so's customer should have been mine. We don't have to even worry the one who didn't sign up, because there are so many others out there that you could speak to. Once you begin to stand out, how do I know somebody is not standing out? If I have a team member who comes and tells me, kijana, nilikuwa na watu watatu wakuja na wote hawakuja. I know you're thinking in your past. If you're all the time remembering all the people who did not show up, who did not buy, who signed up and did not work, I can tell you, If you ask the people that are doing this business seriously, they have no time to remember who didn't show up. As in, I know they have a list of people who they'll follow up on, but they don't think about it daily because they are standing out and they are reaching out for the next person who is attracted to what they are projecting. So the question is, what are you projecting? On social media, are you the kind of person who comments on everything? Everything, from everything to nothing. Chai ya social media. Uko katika chai yote ile iko social media. For those who do not know what chai is, I don't know how to explain. Oh, it's gossip. It is tea. Yeah, chai is tea, isn't it? It is the gossip on social media. But if you're in everybody's gossip, that's all that you're going to see on social media, by the way. And you'll be wondering, how come I can't even see anyone who might be interested in a product? But because you're focused on chai. So you also want to build trust on social media or physically by branding yourself. If you go for an event, Kanyiva has just talked about events that you could get involved in or places where you could go to connect, the gyms, the spas, the expos, all those places. If I come today and I'm told there was a lady here talking about feminergy, and she said she's this, that, and the other, will I hear a different story next week? If I'm going to hear a different story, what is it going to create? Doubt. Ati alisema alipoteza 30 kilos. Na this week nimesikia akisema she's never lost weight. Is it the same person? Maybe not. Mi nilikuwa natafuta yule alipoteza 30 kilos. Now, that doesn't mean that because you didn't lose any weight, you don't have an edge. You could have an edge in helping people maintain. You could use that as a story that, I've never had a lot of weight to lose because I've always maintained in the following ways. And then you go around that story, find out AI is your friend. And if you're a person thinking that AI is going anywhere, it is not going anywhere. So use it to make money. Ask AI, what can I talk about never having had weight? I sell products that are for weight loss, but I've never had weight. What should I be talking about? And AI will tell you all the things you can talk about. And one day you can pick one line, the next day you pick 3 sentences, the next day you give a story, the next day a video, and that begins to brand you as this person who is helping people maintain their weight. And there are so many areas that you could take. There's so many angles of our products. The beauty with BF Suma, it is like no other company because BF Suma has got products that have been segmented. Believe you me, there is no other companies whose products are immune boosters, digestive health, female products, weight loss, men's products, beauty, so well segmented that even if you did not want to sell every product, you can find a category that you speak about, that you enjoy, that you've been helping people who go to the gym. And if you think about people who go to the gym, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, there are so few. Do you know how many men go to the gym? In Kenya alone, we have 60 million, population. Tanzania, 120. Uganda, 50. Is it? That's almost 300 million. Utamaliza lini? So there are so many. How will you reach the ones in Uganda? You have social media. Tanzania, the same thing. And number 3, you want to brand so that you can attract opportunities. There are so many opportunities. So for example, if you're looking at weight loss or you're looking at joint issues, like what Roslyn said, there's so many opportunities associated with that. The gyms, the people who walk. There's a movement called what? Nairobi Walkers or something like that. There are so many movements around weight, joints that you can find yourself in, and you're not going there to say, I sell glucojoint for your joints. That is spamming, that is hawking. Guys, I think about Susan's paycheck, and I think one day, because God is going to grant us, when we'll be making in double digits of millions? Will you be going to throw statements in people's WhatsApp groups and saying, I sell gluzo joint? What for? Why don't you now start now not being that kind of a person? Because that is hawking. And that hawking is what makes your friends begin to feel, me, I don't want to be associated. Kushindanga force watu kununua vitu. Na nikiambia marafiki zangu wakuje. Brand yourself in such a way that your friends are the ones who want to come to you. I was with somebody this morning and she said the lady who found her where we were had been downplaying her a lot because she thought she wasn't doing well. But where we were, she found her there. She just said, when can we meet next week? That other lady. And she had been staying away. So that is part of branding. They find you in certain places, like the places BF Suma takes us, and then they are wondering, where? Kumbe. Where, imagine, somebody said this morning that they'll be going to where the oceans meet. Your friend hears you are where the oceans meet, in Cape Town. Don't you think they'll want to know what it is that you're doing? That is also part of branding. So quickly, very, very quickly, I'll tell you 3 pillars of how you should brand yourself. One is to have clarity. Ask yourself exactly who are you? What is your journey? What things have you gone through? What do you want to share with the world? What can you talk about that differentiates you from the next person? It makes you this one BF Suma distributor who is interested in these 2 areas or this one area. So specifically who you are and what is your unique offer. What is it that you're bringing to the world? It is the same product, but there's a way you can package. It sounds like something else from another world. Have you ever gone to sell a product to someone and they asked you, Haya, kumbe ni BF Suma? Because you had another story there that did not sound like BF Suma, but already they have paid. Kwani kuna kesho? Siwasha lipa. Yeah. And I'm not saying you lie. I'm just saying you stand out. Number 2, you have to be visible. Ladies and a few gentlemen in here, quickly go to your WhatsApp and tell me whether you have a photo. Because if you do not have a photo on your bio or your social medias, the ones who have locked accounts, you're not in business. You're not in business. You are worse than the person who has no account because we suspect you more. Yes. So in your bio, if there is no photo, not of your child, not of your spouse, if it's your spouse, you also have to be there. But if you don't have a photo, you're in obscurity. Have you ever wanted to buy a product from someone online and then you went to their WhatsApp and they didn't have a photo? Do you buy? No. So why do you think anyone is going to buy from you if there's no photo? People want to feel like they know you. They can only feel like they know you if they can see a face, if they hear something about you, or you have written something about yourself that they can identify with. Visibility, whether online or offline. And even online, make your communication very strategic. Usipayuke. Tafadhali, imagine we are headed to millions, my friends. We cannot be just saying anything, even those hundreds of thousands, unless you don't believe. Ama tuko jani moja na nyinyi. Are we on the same journey? Yes. So if we are going in that journey, there's a way we stand out that is going to give us confidence. There are places we will refuse to be found, making noise, shouting, unless our places where we have fun. But kuna kwingine huko nje tutakataa, si ndio? Number 3, consistency. This is the last one. Consistency means today you're going to talk about, say for example, how you grew your hair using natural products. Let us not wait until December for you to tell us about hair again. There's no consistency there. Consistency is the one that builds trust. Let's hear from you even when you think no one is seeing, or no one is liking your post, or no one is liking your videos, or even when there's been a negative comment on your video. By the way, thank those who are commenting negatively. They get so shocked. If you put a video and somebody makes a bad comment, thank them. They're dealing with a lot of issues more than you can handle. So pray for them and thank them. And move on, because you're on a journey, isn't it? So consistency is about you repeating, even when you think you have said it too many times. Again, you say I to tell you how to repeat what you wrote yesterday without saying how you said it yesterday. Yeah. You take it to ChatGPT and ask, how can I say this differently today so that I target the people who love football, because today they'll be watching football and most likely they've not thought about their joint health, their weight. So put it for me in a way that it will speak to the people who are interested in football, because today they'll be on social media, isn't it? The ideas for you to stand out are more than you can think or imagine. Now, very quickly, as you go home this afternoon, you must do 3 things. 1, refine your bio. Toa hizo picha za nini? Unless the story you are giving us is around the cat. Because you can have a story around the cat, isn't it? I don't know which products you want to sell, but you can have a story around the cat. Unless the story you're telling us is around the cat, please don't have the cat in your bio. It is not helping you sell anything. Sawa sawa. Unless it is part of your family life story that you're giving. So refine your bio. Toa kanisa yenu hapo. Kanisa utapeleka pesa kesho. Weka picha ile itakuuza. Please, tafadhali. Hello? It is true, by the way. Because if you constantly put that photo there, it is not helping you sell anything. What will you take tomorrow to church? Your bio is not a place where you put pure and broken. Hello? Your bio is you. Then pure and broken is going to come into your updates, isn't it? Or into your wall, but not on the bio. The bio is supposed to be you. People buy you before they buy the products you're selling. Sawa sawa. So let's sell you. Let somebody meet you in the streets of Nairobi and say, oh, by the way, I saw your photo the other day. You were talking about pure and broken. But if the pure and broken is the one that is in the bio, would they recognize you in the streets? Sawa sawa. Share your voice. Your voice is your story. Your voice is the thing that you're passionate about. There are people who are passionate about, say for example, like I'm passionate about football. If I'm talking about football, it will be in relation to stress. Because then I bring in high blood pressure. Like now I've been talking a lot about high blood pressure and football. Why? Because I know these men that are going to the stadium never check their pressure. And so many of them need our products. So kuna yule ata comment na mimi nitaenda inbox. And I'll continue talking about stress. And the stress conversation will go to micro 2 and pure and broken. So your voice is the things you're interested in, the things you like to speak about, that you weave together with what you are doing. And you don't need to copy anybody, because nobody will be able to bring you out better than yourself. So bring yourself out. Be you. Engage authentically. Let me tell you, we are the best in the industry. There's nobody like BF Suma. That I know because I've been in the industry part-time for 20 years. Nearly 20 years before I came to BF Suma. So I know there is nobody else. So we have no business trying to lie about our products. We have no business exaggerating what they can do. We have no business lying about our compensation or even what we get, because we get it anyway. Nani mwingine umesikia kipeana magari? Umeshaiona? Nani mwingine anapeleka watu Maldives na South Africa? So no need. So be authentic. Give an unexaggerated story. And if you're asking yourself, but I've just started, how do I give an authentic story? You say exactly that. I have just started. But I can tell you, looking into the future, with the hope of the people that are with me in business, the ones that have gone before me, you won't recognize me next year, because the brand that I'm building, partnered with the BF Suma brand, is nothing you've ever seen. Share your story in your most authentic way. That is your brand. Weave it together with BF Suma, and you will stand out in whatever market that you go to. Thank you.